Yesterday to resign from APU University Board Trustees, citing drift from faith and core principles.
Good riddance.
Yeah. Let's see.
Is this, well,
yeah, they resigned last week from the major evangelical university. One of them, his name was something Washington. Washington has served on Board of Trustees for 15 years. He told WorldNet Daily he brought ample evidence to the board's attention over the last 6 years. The administration and a large portion of the faculty were, quote, promoting a progressive ideology that clashed with the institution's statement of faith and core principles, end quote.
Core principles.
After fervent prayer with integrity of heart, I cannot continue to be a part of these violations of God's word. He wrote in his resignation letter,
all the feels right now.
I fear the spiritual consequences of this lack of correction and discipline.
The spiritual consequences. Yeah.
Oh, so sorry to see you go, Washington.
Yep.
Peace out, bitch.
And the other guy that they didn't get a quote from?
Yeah.
They didn't get a quote from?
No, they didn't.
Goodbye, Washington, and other unnamed person who's otherwise.
Okay, let me
not notable to
rephrase.
me.
Peace out, bitches. How about that? There.
Yeah.
Well, it's not all good news.
Oh, I thought the second shoe was going to be good as well.
I'm sorry.
But,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not how shoes work. But yes.
Again,
Well, they're the same, usually.
as stated, the university came under fire after reversing its policy on banning public LGBTQ relationships on campus after caving to pressure from activists, blah, blah, blah. However, the Board of Trustees said they had never approved the change and have reinstated the policy.
Oh, come on.
Oh, please. Oh, wait.
The people left, though.
You know what actually really concerns me, though, is since this happened, there were probably a lot of people that came out. Like you said, there was an underground support group, and they're like, oh, we don't have to be underground anymore. And they came out, and then
now,
they said, oh, no, and now they know who they are.
You know, I hadn't even thought about that. Fuck. That's terrible.
You're welcome.
You just made it worse.
You made it worse. The
Megan.
third shoe is the worst shoe.
So yeah, even though they reversed the policy and reinstituted the ban of bigotry, this guy still left because you know, progress is happening in spite of him.
Progress isn't Christian.
Nope.
No, because
Apparently.
as we said, the Bible can't change, so
Yeah.
I guess neither can he.
But I think backpedaling is.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I just wish they hadn't backpedaled on this one. I don't know. It's interesting. It's sort of like, do evangelical Christian sects in the United States, they still are absolutely against divorce and everything as well, right?
Oh, I mean, you would
Uniformly,
think. Yeah.
or just some?
Yeah, like-
some, like a little
Probably
bit.
some.
Okay, so eventually, assuming that they don't, like these ideologies and associations and institutions don't entirely die out, eventually it's possible that some of them will be okay with the LGBTQ.
Yeah, well, I mean, a few generations ago, as you said, divorce
was-
you know, scarlet letter, that kind of thing. A couple of generations ago,
I mean, I've got a scarlet
Women-
letter I happily wear around.
divorced women were, you know, they would be shunned from their communities and ostracized and just totally demonized. But that kind of became the norm. People realized divorce really isn't that bad. It helps you get out of terrible, violent, brutal relationships.
Yeah, I was gonna
Divorce
say.
is fine, guys. And eventually people came to,
The
they
conclusion.
got around to realizing that just in spite of
But
their own bigotry, because they needed a scapegoat, you know?
yeah, well, it's
And
interesting. 'Cause
divorced women were real easy to scapegoat.
Well, and, you know, slowly, even religion kind of behind the times, but eventually slowly
pushed by
gets
the-
pulled along with the tide.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I mean, we have kind of pull them kicking and screaming.
Oh, for sure, but we do.
Yeah, eventually they get it right.
Well, what I will say is, yes, eventually, but it's not impossible for there to be a backslide, right? Like religion has
or a
strong
backlash.
arms and does its best to pull back. But it's interesting to think about how quickly things have changed because, you know, since I've been alive, no-fault divorce has been a thing that is legal, but it didn't always used to be. I don't even know how recent that was, but, I mean, we're less than 10 years into, you know, openly gay marriages, or like marriage equality, I should say. Like, it's an interesting point to make that for people that live in like a bubbled, walled-off lifestyle from the world, it seems like the entire world has changed in half a decade or whatever.
For a second, I was trying to figure out what you were trying to mime.
Walls.
Okay, gotcha.
For those of you listening at home,
for a second,
it was, I'm not a mime.
Yeah,
I might dress like one occasionally, apparently, but I don't know. Rainbow, not black and white. Yeah. It's interesting because that's sort of the backlash that we're seeing in American society is like, oh, things have changed. Oh, we have to not make fun of gay people openly now. Oh my gosh, the world is ending.
Oh, we're
like,
so butthurt over not being able to
No, it's being called out for being
offensive
a dick.
behavior.
It's not that, it's suddenly you're not allowed to, or it's not okay.
Well, but
or politically correct for you to make fun of this or that group. You're just going to get called out for being a dick.
Well, yeah, but to people that have a strong sense of authority and like uniformity in action.
Which many religious people have that sense of self.
Right. There's like I'm in a community, the community all has the same values.
Therefore, I can impose.
Yeah, if there's like, if like there's a large group of people imposing something, that is what the law is, kind of, mentality.
Sure.
To have a large group of people telling them something different is like, oh my gosh, it's not even allowed. It's like the same as illegal and all these things. It's an interesting, we live in interesting times.
Yeah.
May you live in interesting times.
I don't want to. Can I live in boring, progressive times? Can we just...
Unfortunately, I don't think you can have progress without some bumps.
That's true.
Well, what if everyone just changed their mind?
Yeah.
Well, Wouldn't that be good? What if can we all just agree that I'm right about everything and then move on?
And he's going to take his evil mind control device and turn it on, and then everyone is going to think and act like Jamie. Won't that be wonderful?
I would like some other, I don't know.
Personalities?
I have some strengths and weaknesses. We should have.
We all do.
Speaking of the country as a whole.
Yes.
Speaking on behalf of the country. Yes, Kevin.
No, just about the country. Most of the country is not like this at all. It is mostly the T of LGBTQ, well, the T and the Q that really are still being scapegoated.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I will say is, yes, that's the focus, but there are a lot of people where it's not as much a scapegoat, where it's like a thing that they actually care about and like believe. So it's not.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're scary. They're the other. You know.
You know what would be really great?
It's someone we can target and say they're
those
part
people
of the
are not us. Yeah.
What would be really great is if the students who came out in this short period of time, because what was the period of time between the unbanning and rebanning?
It was about 2 months.
Okay, so plenty of time for people to be out
gay.
and proud.
Yeah.
So I would hope that if they are facing any kind of repercussions for this, that maybe another university who doesn't have such a stick up their ass would maybe find it in their hearts to say, okay, all of your credits transfer. Okay, your financial aid transfers. Okay, we're going to take you on and not put you back in the closet.
So the American Humanist University that doesn't exist yet?
Yet.